Today's lesson is about retirement income planning and how we use annuities to really help people out and to provide a level of security, guarantees, and especially with what's gone on here in 2022, with how the markets have performed, a lot of people are in shock and they're looking for ways to produce income from what is now a smaller balance. And so we're going to go through 4 different classifications of annuities that are all designed to produce income either now or at a future date. And we've broken them into $100,000 units. So the math is simple. If you were taking an IRA or a combination of an IRA and some other money that's not IRA money, that's non-qualified money. So with $100,000 units, that makes the math simple to get 200,000 of one and 100,000 of another. And so we've got a couple age 65, Sally and Bob. And the thing I want to point out in this example, in this hypothetical, if you have a couple age 65 years old right now in 2022, they have a 63% chance that one of them is going to make it to 90. So, you start looking at that is if we've got a minimum of 25 years for 63% of the people. We got to make whatever the money they have in their retirement account last at least that long. And really, the number one fear that we have with people coming across our desk is they're afraid they're going to run out of money, that they're going to spend it in their 60s and 70s, or perhaps lose it on investments. Inflation is going to eat away at it, and they're just afraid they're going to run out of money in their late 70s or their 80s. And so we can use some combination of annuities to make sure that that doesn't happen. So what I want to do is I want to just jump in and talk about these 4 different categories of annuities. And we're going to just jump into the first one, which is a single premium immediate annuity, or the short or the acronym is SPIA. And so I'd like Tom, if he would, to just come on and talk to us a little bit about the example for this couple, both 65 and the single premium immediate annuity.
Sure. And so I'm going to share my screen here in a second, and it's of the show notes that we have. And you can find those in the link below of our video. They're also on our website, but it's kind of the supporting documents of that go into the video. The first one, again, is we pulled it from the American Academy of Actuaries. They have a website listed here to get to that 63% likelihood that one of them lives to age 90. So you can look at that if you're interested there. But the first example that was in that top left box on the board is this couple, these fictitious clients, just a sample clients of both are turning 65. And we're showing what a SPIA looks like of putting 100,000 in there and what this will guarantee for both of their lives, as long as either one of them lives, is $576.17 a month of income. That's as long as if one of them lives to 120, that check's going to keep coming in kind of no matter what. We did put on what's called a period certain, a 20-year period certain, because oftentimes we'll get the question, what happens if I die or both of us die, early in this payout? Then your beneficiaries would get a payment for at least, there will be some payment paid out for at least 20 years. So if you died, say in the 10th year, there would be 10 more years that your beneficiaries would receive that same monthly payment. But it's pretty straightforward. You put the money there, you get a guaranteed income. You're essentially turning your money into a pension, just like what a lot of companies used to have. It's just a way to turn it into income that you receive for as long as you live.
Yeah, I mean, so you put 100,000 in, somebody's going to get, either you or your beneficiaries, $138,000 back. It's not a very significant interest rate, but that's the worst case scenario. If one of you lives to 95, one of this couple lives to 95, $207,000 is what this thing's going to pay out. And it's going to keep sending checks as long as one of you is alive. So obviously $576 a month isn't going to be a lot in 25 years, 30, 40 years, but we're just using 100,000 as the example. If you wanted to buy an income of between $1,500 and $2,000 a month for the couple, they just put $300,000 into this thing and of their portfolio, and they can turn their backs on it, and they're going to get a check every month for the rest of their lives, the rest of both of their lives. Okay, so the next one we want to talk about is the multi-year guaranteed annuity. I want to go back to Tom, and I want to show the example there. In the show notes, we've got an illustration of one company that of just doing this.
Yeah, and so what the MYGA is, we've had other videos on this, but it's a multi-year guaranteed annuity. It works very much like a CD, where you put the money there for a fixed number of years, and you get a fixed interest rate, and it's all guaranteed. I will point out that all of these ones we're going to go over are guaranteed by the ability of the insurance company to pay the claims or the benefits they're promising, and so that's something you'd want to do a little bit of due diligence on the company you're picking. But what this current one is, and these rates are as of, I think it was November 7th, I think is when we ran this. But earlier this month, and it's what the current rates are as of today, is 5.4% guaranteed for 5 years. And so you can see you put 100,000 in, you leave it there. You can see this column, the contract value under the guaranteed values. After the 5th year, you have $130,078 guaranteed. There's no fluctuation. There's no what if. There's no does the market go up or down. I mean, it's just a fixed rate that they pay for a fixed number of years, and it's very straightforward.
Yeah, I mean, this is, again, we're showing $100,000. This is for money you're not going to take anything out of for 5 years. Okay, you could get at some of this principal. We don't want to get into the details of that, but there's some liquidity features that if you needed to draw some out during the 5 years, you can get at some of the money without a penalty. But the whole idea is you put the money there, you turn your back on it, you're paid this fixed interest rate that you know up front, and you don't pay any taxes on this money as it's accumulating, whether it's IRA or not IRA money. It's tax deferred. And then at the end of 5 years, you got $130,000. You can just take your money and run. You're done. Okay. Now, if you did that, you just cashed it in, you're going to owe taxes then on $30,000 if this was not IRA money. If it was IRA money, you'd owe the taxes on the whole thing. But what most people do is they just simply roll this into another MYGA. I mean, so the 5 years are up, it's 2027. We've got our $130,000 in there, and now we don't need the money in the foreseeable future. We just roll it again for possibly another 5 years, and we continue to postpone the taxation. Okay, so the next one we're going to talk about is a $100,000 premium into a fixed indexed annuity that has an income rider on it. And I want to go to Tom, and I want you to walk through this a bit for them, Tom.
Yeah. And so of the 4 on the board, this is the one that's maybe a little more complicated than the other 3. And so we're going to spend a little more time on this, but this is a proposal we ran. This one was with Nationwide. We do have a lot of other companies offering these. We just wanted to pick one to illustrate how it would work. But each client situation is different. So we'd want to talk to you before you actually recommended anything. But what this is a fixed indexed annuity. At the base level, how it works is you put the money with the insurance company, and the fixed index part of that is money is invested at the insurance company, but you pick an index that the money is going to track. The performance of your contract will track. When that index goes up, you get some of the upside. If it goes down, you have none of the downside risk. So it's a way to guarantee that you can't have losses due to market performance. So if the stock market goes down like it's done in 2022, you don't lose any money when that happens. But when it goes up, say it did in the previous years, you get some of that growth. And so the important part for this video that John just mentioned is it has an income rider. So I'm going to scroll down to actually the guaranteed section first. Is at the very minimum, you can see it's guaranteed contract values. Is it has a income, this lifetime withdrawal amount of $9,072 a year. It's an annual number. Then if you wait for 5 years, you put the 100,000 there, You wait for 5 years. There is no growth in the market. The market's gone down for 5 years. You are guaranteed to get $9,000 a year for the rest of both of your lives. You can see that that 9,000 continues on into the future, even when the account value is zero. And so if you live a long life and there wasn't good growth in the contract, and the annuity ran out of money in terms of account value, you still get the income no matter how long you live. I'm going to scroll back up to the hypothetical section, because this shows if there is growth. So what they do here is they took the most recent 10 years and just repeat that into the future. So they're trying to show what would this look like if the performance was the same there. And you can see the income is actually a little bit higher. If there's growth in the contract, the income can be higher. And then you can see it growing up either. One of the big differences of this between like the SPIA, for example, that single premium immediate annuity, is there is still a death benefit there. If there is good growth in the contract, there could be a decent amount of money left over for your beneficiaries after you or have both died. And so you get that income for as long as you both are living. And then when you die, whatever's left in the account value goes to your beneficiaries. And so it's a way to not have to give away all your money to the insurance company. I mean, it's there. It's still in your name, though, in an account. When if there's a balance left in there, that's going to go to your beneficiaries when you both die.
Okay. This is similar in its payout ability as this, but this is right away. And then where the similar part is, this SPIA is going to pay guaranteed for the rest of your life. The guaranteed for the rest of the couple's life, the same thing in the fixed indexed annuity, is if they started the income at 70, the numbers that are in the illustration, they could start it. And once it's started, that money will come in as long as one of them is alive for the rest of both of their lives, which is fantastic. I mean, it just provides that security of not running out of money. And so the last one that we're going to talk about is the structured annuity. And we've used 5 years. And this is for people that want income now. They need it immediately. And, we've used a $100,000 denomination, but all this is going to do is it's just going to spread the income out over 5 years. And then the principal balance is going to be zero. So this is going to produce the highest income because it only does it for 5 years. So I want to go to Tom and just have him walk you through the example of this a little bit.
Yeah. And so we've ran a quote here where we can look at what these different companies are offering on that same 5-year payout period. And so this is, you put the money there, the 100,000, it gives you some interest there and it pays it out over 5 years. After the 5 years, the payments are done. The money is gone. It's been spent. And so John will get into an example here in a second, or Hans will get into an example here in a second, where we talk about how this might be used. But you can see AIG, for example, at least as of November 8th, was paying a monthly income of $1,837. That's per month for 5 years guaranteed. And so it's a way to take some of your money, get a known income for a 5-year period, and just, take the money there.
Yeah, we just wanted to do these, at least these 3 in 5-year increments with $100,000. Okay. And these 2 were designed to take nothing for 5 years and to just get the value of waiting and accumulation. This one was designed, along with that one, was designed to create an income immediately. This one going for the rest of your life, this or the couple's life, this one going for 5 years. So how do we use these things? Like a real simple example. Let's say this couple, they had $300,000 in their IRA, or maybe they had 500,000, might be a simpler example. So they had $500,000 in their IRA. They wanted to remain invested with some of it, but they liked the security and they're sick of losing money. And so they need income. And so while this time that they've been losing money or their values have been going down, if they would have added income withdrawals to that, it makes the problem even worse. So we could take $500,000, leave $200,000 just invested just like it is, and then take $300,000 and put $100,000 of it in one of these, and it's going to produce the $1,837.70 a month for 5 years. And so they've got that guaranteed check of between $1,500 and $2,000. And then we could take $200,000 and put it in this thing. So just when this one runs out and gets to zero is the time that we turn on the income from this one, and then this one's guaranteed for life. So they could, they could take $300,000 of their money and produce an income immediately from this, 5 years out for the rest of both of their lives from that. And then the remaining $200,000 they could leave invested. Or if they wanted to get completely out of and protect all their money, then they could stick that other $200,000 in this or some combination of that. And then they would have a known amount that they're going to have in 5 years. So we do all these in different amounts, and it really, they're all different for everybody that we talk to. I mean, we got to listen to people, find out how much of their money they want to protect, how much they want to still leave invested, what kind of income that they're looking for. And then we're always concerned about longevity. Is just people getting into their 80s and 90s and having used up a lot of their retirement money. It's not a good situation to be in. And so with annuities, we can, with an income payment on them, we can insure against that. If one or both of them live a long time, they're going to know they always have a check coming in. So as we've done before, we cover the 7 subjects on the YouTube channel, and we just want to check all the ones we talked about today. Number 1, we talked about IRA 401k, because these 4 plans are available, all of them in an IRA. So you can use IRA money. This is an IRA once it gets to the insurance company. So you can do a transfer to transfer without taxes, or you can buy these things with money you've already paid taxes on, with non-qualified or not IRA money. Okay. Then we've talked about retirement income. That's what this whole show's been about, is how do we create a stream of income that has some guarantees and certainty to it. Estate planning, all of these annuities, whether they're qualified or non-qualified or IRA or not, they include a beneficiary. So this money is going to pay out quickly to your heirs once Bob and Sally are gone. And then with taxes, what I want to talk about is the taxation of these things is really simple if they're IRAs, because you don't pay any tax until you pull money out. So with this one, you get a check next month for $576. It's all taxable. With this one, you're not going to pay any taxes until you pull money out, and we're not illustrating taking anything out. With this one, you're going to get a check next month for $1,837, all taxable if it's an IRA. So it's pretty simple with the IRAs. Money coming out, taxable, counts as minimum distributions or RMDs. If you use non-qualified money or money you already paid taxes on, that's where it gets a little bit more complicated. But you're not going to be taxed twice. You're going to get tax-free return of principal on all 4 of these annuities when you're pulling money out, and the interest component, or the gain on the thing, you're going to have to pay taxes on. So with that, I'm Hans Scheil.
And I'm Tom Griffith.
And we thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.